Restaurants staffed entirely by senior citizens? Ever heard of such a thing?
I've definitely seen it more and more lately.
Yeah. And today we're going to deep dive into this whole idea. Is it just a feel-good trend or is there something more there? Because I was going through the articles for today and honestly, I'm starting to think that there's a bigger story here about like the value of experience.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's definitely more than just a heartwarming story. We're seeing this trend popping up all over the globe. I mean, look at Singapore. They're really encouraging businesses over there to hire seniors.
Yeah, one article even mentioned government programs in Singapore, like specifically designed to get older adults back into the workforce. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's partly a numbers game. A lot of countries are dealing with aging populations,
Yeah.
but it's also a shift in perspective. I mean, Singapore even has this Retirement and Reemployment Act. It's pretty cool, actually. Basically, they're recognizing that older workers aren't just like looking for something to do. They have real skills, they have experience, and that's stuff that's directly applicable to today's workplace.
You know what really struck me? This article about Kun Kaya Toast. It's this like huge restaurant chain in Singapore, and they've been hiring seniors for years, apparently. I don't know about you, but I love that feeling when you walk into your local coffee shop and the person behind the counter already knows your order.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the best.
The best.
Hmm?
It's all about building that loyalty, that connection, and who better to do that than, someone who understands the value of that personal touch. But I think it actually goes beyond just customer service. You got to think about problem-solving skills,
Yeah.
mentorship, for the younger employees, and just like institutional knowledge that takes years to acquire.
Yeah, totally. Right. It's like that saying, if you want something done right, ask your grandma. But, okay, this next article takes it a step further, claiming that these senior staffed spots become like community hubs. What do you think? How does that work?
Well, it's all about intergenerational interaction. When you have a space where you've got people of all ages mixing, it just creates this automatic sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And think about it. As humans, we're hardwired for connection, right?
Right.
We crave that interaction with people from all walks of life, all different ages.
Yeah, that's so true. It really makes you think, Like,
Totally.
maybe we should all make more of an effort to just like chat with our older neighbors or something.
Totally. It's all about like bridging those generational divides a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Recognizing that shared human experience.
Yeah, for sure. And this next article, it actually makes a pretty big claim. It says that working actually keeps seniors healthier. So is that like legit? Is there actual science behind that? Or is it just,
Oh, no, there's actually a ton of research that supports that idea.
No.
And it's not even just about like the physical activity, although I'm sure that's part of it, but it's more about having that sense of purpose, right? Staying mentally engaged, those social connections, those are all super important for well-being, especially as we age.
So it's really that feeling of like being valued, being connected, all that stuff that a job can provide.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Isolation is a huge problem for a lot of seniors, and that can really take a toll both mentally and physically. So having a job, even if it's just part-time, it can be huge. It's like an antidote to that.
Yeah.
And it's not just about, filling the hours in the day. It's about feeling like you're contributing, like your skills are still relevant.
One of the articles I was reading mentioned Singapore's like silver workforce program. It sounds like they're really putting a lot of resources behind this whole idea. What is that program all about?
So it's basically this multifaceted initiative. I mean, they provide training, job placement, even like wage subsidies to businesses that hire older workers. They've really taken this idea to heart. They recognize that, like a healthy economy, it includes everyone, it includes the experience and the wisdom of seniors.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It reminds me of that story about Mr. Lim. I think it was Mr. Lim is in one of these articles. He found this whole new sense of purpose working at a restaurant after he retired. And what really struck me was how much he talked about like the friendships he made with his coworkers. Like that social connection was just as important as the work itself.
Yeah. Mr. Lim's story is like the perfect example of how powerful it can be to find a role that really speaks to your interests and gives you that built-in community. And the best part is there's like actual research to back this up.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done studies. These programs, they lead to less depression in seniors, better cognitive function, even like cardiovascular health. It's amazing, but it really shows you how connected our social and mental well-being is to having a purpose.
It really does feel like everyone wins in this situation, right? Like the seniors, the businesses, the whole community.
Totally. I mean, it's a win-win-win. Businesses, they get these experienced, dedicated employees, right?
Yeah.
Seniors, they find purpose, community, and their health improves. And the community as a whole, they benefit from all of that. You get this increased social cohesion and just this like awesome transfer of knowledge between the generations. It's pretty great.
It really is amazing. Makes you wonder why we don't see this more often, you know?
Right. It's like our whole concept of retirement is kind of outdated.
Hmm.
Instead of thinking about aging as this like decline, we should be looking at the potential, the value that older adults bring to the table.
Yeah, for sure. It's like experience is a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Exactly. And you know what? It's not just up to governments and big companies to figure this out. We can all play a part in making those intergenerational connections stronger.
So what can our listeners do? Like, what can we do in our own lives to, kind of support this whole thing?
It starts with just being aware, right? It's like next time you're trying to decide where to eat, maybe pick the place that, values experience, the place that hires people of all ages.
Yeah. Instead of the big chain restaurant, maybe try that little family-run cafe down the street, the one where you always see grandparents and grandkids hanging out.
Exactly. Support the businesses that are already doing this, and don't be afraid to, tell them you appreciate it.
Totally. And hey, maybe next time we're, tempted to just rush past a conversation with an older neighbor, we take a minute to actually, connect.
Love it. Sometimes those little everyday interactions, those are the things that build real community.
Yeah.
They remind us that we're not so different after all.
It's true. It's like creating a world where age really is just a number, where everyone feels valued and connected.
Well said. A world where we celebrate experience, where wisdom gets passed down. Now that's something worth working towards.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. We hope you've enjoyed exploring this heartwarming trend with us. And hey, maybe it's given you some food for thought, about the future of work, about community, all that good stuff.
Been a great conversation.
Until next time, everyone, stay curious.